Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. It's time for a quick little Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube, just a quick update on what we can expect for our Friday's storm system. Good evening, everyone. Thanks, of course, for clicking on tonight. We're going to keep this one fairly quick here. We're going to get in more depth about this Friday storm tomorrow and, of course, on Thursday. But I want to keep everybody updated on what to expect with this thing. This is a pretty serious storm. Potential for power outages, widespread power outages is certainly on the table with this one. And that will be on Friday. Gusts over 50 miles per hour, 50 to 60 miles per hour should be expected. I think peak wind gusts at the coastline will get into the 55 to 65 mile per hour range. So that's enough for widespread outages. Coastal flooding will be an issue. Stream river flooding. There's the potential for a flash freeze Friday night. And at the onset, there'll be a little wintry mix as well. So let's waste no time. Let's start you off with the 3-day forecast first. Thanks again for joining us on whatever you're joining us on, Facebook Live or Twitter or YouTube here. Let me get my mug out of here so we can see the next 3 days. We have temps in the 30s tomorrow, 30s Thursday. It's bright tomorrow. It's cloudy Thursday. And Friday's our next storm system. After Friday's storm, there are no major storms in the forecast. I want to take you through today first. What a great looking day we had, right? This is Old Orchard Beach. That's the time lapse. A nice deep blue sky there with this tide going out during the course of the afternoon. It was beautiful at the beach. It was beautiful in the mountains as well. I took a little stroll up there with my dog this morning. I want to show you, this is what it looked like up in Tuckerman Ravine today. They certainly could use some more snowfall. I thought that was a pretty interesting, nice deep blue sky up there. Took a little ski down with my dog as well during the course of the morning. Here we are on the John Sherburne Trail, and you see some fluffy snow, and my dog Buddy really enjoyed that as well. All right, back to the forecast. Let's say goodbye to, a nice day today. Tomorrow, I think we have some more sunshine, more clouds on Thursday. And again, Friday's our next storm system that moves in. Let's take a look at the potential gusts here, 55 to 65 miles per hour. Yeah, that's a real possibility for some power outages. So I think the last time we had gusts like this was in that October 30th storm in 2017. So that was a serious storm. I don't think it's going to be quite as bad as that one, but I think widespread power outages are on the table. It's time to start thinking about the potential of being without power into and through the holiday weekend here. I mean, that is a real possibility here with gusts like this. Strongest gusts will be at the coastline, and to be more specific, mid-coast Maine. If we get some gusts, my guess we'll get frequent gusts over 50 miles per hour at the coastline. Inland areas will get gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. And usually 40 to 50 will usually give us some power outages, but 55 to 65 that certainly is something we need to watch. Coastal flooding, high tide is the one we're watching here at 10:16 a.m. Good news is that the strongest winds will be a little bit after our high tide. So during the afternoon, we'll have our strongest winds. But just goes to show you never know what you're going to get here because we have astronomical high tides. In fact, one of the highest tide of the month is 10:16. It is 11.3 feet. Flood stage in Portland is 12 feet. And I would say we're almost guaranteed to get at least minor coastal flooding. The big question is it going to be moderate coastal flooding? I think we stay in the minor category. Flash flooding, that's a possibility. We're probably going to get 1 to 3 inches of rain. And that with some snow melt will produce the potential for some stream and river flooding. And that may last into Saturday as well. So some of the more reactive rivers need to be watched pretty closely here. The more reactive rivers, I mean some of the more shallower rivers like the Saco River, going back towards Freiburg, Conway area. Let's see, the Presumpscot River, the Sandy River, the usual suspects here. As we widen things out, you can see there's not much going on right now. There's some pretty cold air diving south out of the northern plains. Our storm is getting organized out here. It's going to grab some of this moisture off to the south. And that is going to be our weather maker for Friday. So again, we just went through all of these variables here for you. I think the biggest story is going to be the potential for damaging winds. Peak gusts should get in the 55 to 65 mile per hour range. Power outages are going to lead my headlines here. And coastal flooding, flash flooding. And one thing we haven't talked much about is the potential for a flash freeze. We're going to go from low 50s during the early evening hours on Friday to possibly teens by Saturday morning. Low 50s to teens. So any wet surfaces have the potential to freeze right up. Notice some of the heavy rainfall right there. There's the front moving through. It's right after that front. These temperatures could drop, 30 degrees in 4 hours. I mean, this is going to be a nutty system as it moves through Friday into Friday night. The good news is Saturday, Sunday, Christmas Eve day, Christmas Day. It looks like we're in pretty good shape weather-wise here. It's just going to be a little bit cold. We have modified Arctic air moving in. This is what I was telling you about here. This is the flash freeze potential. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. Check out the temps, low 50s. And then look at how cold it is behind this front. So we're going to go 4 p.m. to about, let's take you right into the morning, 1 a.m. now. We're already flirting with teens for most of the area. Let's remember, just 6 hours prior to that, 6 to 7 hours prior to that, we're in the 40s and 50s. And we're going to go from 40s and 50s down to teens pretty quickly. And I think we'll probably start the day on Saturday with temperatures in the teens. So we've been talking about this cold for quite some time. And this has been the response. This has been responsible for some serious cold out in the northern plains and all the way down to Texas. This is some real cold air that came up over the poles from Siberia, and it is draining into the northern plains, the Mississippi River Valley eventually, and down through the southern plains here. This is Thursday, 7 p.m. You can kind of make out during this period where our storm is as well. There's a sharp front. Let's see if I can draw it in right here. The front is right here. There's a warm front right in here, area of low pressure. So a lot of warm air surging north, and then the cold air comes in behind this. Now, the good news for us, by the time the cold gets to us, it's modified Arctic air. So it's not going to be a huge deal. I mean, it's going to get colder. I mean, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it's not going to be like highs of 0, lows of 20 to 30 below. It's not going to be like that. We will, however, get highs in the mid-20s, and lows will be dipping to around 10, I think, for a lot of areas going into the weekend, into early next week. So these 30s that we've been getting used to, that is not going to stick around. Quick look at the storm tracker that takes us into Friday here. If you're just joining us on Facebook Live, Twitter, YouTube, we have no problems tomorrow, just some more clouds on Thursday. And of course, the big ticket item will be Friday. Tomorrow, we have some sun. I think mid-30s will be common for highs. There was some clouds moving back into the picture on Thursday. We should have temps in the 30s that day. And, this is one of those models that brings in the precip pretty early, Thursday evening, Thursday night. This may be a little bit too quick, but you get the general idea. We have some precip moving in, possibly heavy at times by Friday morning, the yellows and the oranges and the greens. That's some heavy rain. And the mountains will probably start the day with some snow. And there's the potential for a few to several inches of snow before the changeover. But even there, you will transition over to some rain. Now, I don't think the mountains are going to get into the 50s, but the rest of us probably will. The snowpack that we have on the ground in southern and central Maine, I think it's gone. It really is. I mean, this is a lot like 2020. Remember the big storm that we had 17 inches of snow on, what was that, December, what am I thinking? December 18th? December 17th. It was December 17th, 2020. Same exact date as this past storm. And then we had a big rainstorm on the 25th. This is a little bit different, but we're going to get a big rainstorm, it looks like, on the 23rd. So here we go. And the wind is going to be an issue as well. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. And it's going to be warm. It's going to be windy. It's going to be wet here as well. All right. Tomorrow's good. Thursday, look for cloudy skies. That rain moves in on Friday. It's a weather-worn day for wind. And we need to take this seriously. I think we really do, because power outages could get widespread on Friday. Again, we're watching the flash freeze, watching the stream river flooding as well. And what else is there? Did I say it all? River flooding, wind. There's so many variables with this storm. It's been a long day. Look for a lot of sunshine on Saturday and Sunday. So Christmas Day, I think we're in pretty good shape there with some sunshine on Monday as well. And there are no big storms after this Friday storm system here. If you're just joining us on Facebook Live, just want to run through the headlines with you one more time. Let's go find those headlines. There they are with our Friday storm. So the gusts are going to be probably 55 to 65 miles per hour. And that's a respectable wind. And that would lead to some widespread outages. Coastal flooding is, that's the other variable, coastal flooding. The high tide is at 10:16 a.m. That's the one we're watching, flash flooding due to heavy rain and snowmelt. And we're watching for the potential for a flash freeze Friday night. So anytime Friday night, those low 50s move out. And we're probably talking about temperatures transitioning pretty quickly into the teens. It's going to be nuts. Meteorologically, you have to have a respect for this one, right? When we go from low 50s into the upper teens. But all right, I'm going to get ready for CBS 13 at 11, Fox 23 at 10. I hope I answered all your questions here. Looks like Robin says she's getting her generator ready. All right. What's the weather for Brunswick in Friday? Yeah, you're gonna get a big storm Friday. We just outlined it all for you here, Beth. Rain, wind, power outages. I think that's going to be an issue in Brunswick. Everybody's talking about the generators. I like it. I got to go get some gas for my generator myself. We got a fairly new generator, and I've only used it once during the when I was forecasting from home. This was really cool. We had an ice storm. It must have been 20. Yeah, it was December of 2020. We had an icing event, and I was actually doing the weather forecast from my guest bedroom, where I had a little green screen behind me on the wall. It was pretty cool, and we lost power right before I was going to do a cut in. So I went outside in my suit and plugged in the generator, and everything worked great. And then just like that, the internet went out. So eventually I lost connection. But that was my experience with broadcasting from home using my generator. I have a feeling I'll need to use it again for the first time in a couple of years this Friday. All right, we'll have many more updates. We're still a few days away. Enjoy the nice weather tomorrow, everyone. Take care.